Hello everyone, Phil here and welcome to DSP versus the Internet, my weekly clips react show here on DSPReacts. This week, once again, a wide variety of clips as submitted by the channel members. Thank you to everyone who has become a member and supports the channel and my efforts to keep making this weekly React content. I hope that you have enjoyed everything on this last month. This month has been crazy for React content. And now we're getting back into the regular schedule and swing of things. So, we will start off today, episode 82 for September 15, 2024, with the Ultra member submissions. These are the ones submitted by the people who are the biggest supporters of the channel. If you want your video to be guaranteed to be watched, and you get 4 in a month, once a week, become an Ultra member today, okay? All right, let's get started. Now, I'm going to be honest. This video we're about to watch, I know we've already seen it, but I don't know if what we're about to watch is an edited version that's different from the original, or if it's just the original. I really don't know. So let's find out. But I remember that seeing this guy with his thing of queso and chili and just putting it in a bowl and nuking it, and that was it. So let's see what this is. All right, here we go.
Hello, Wildcats. This is Weber Cooks, and today we're doing chili cheese nachos. We start with a can of chili, and
I don't remember if it had this music, so maybe this is a different version.
And
National Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
And then the cheese sauce, we just take off the lid and we pop these both in the microwave. And we set the microwave for chili nachos. And
I killed my wife? What?
Chili.
Whoa!
That's done.
All right, this is definitely different from the original video. The original video, it was the unedited version of him just doing it. And we watched it, and we were like, what was that? And then someone explained, I guess this was supposed to be like some kind of a class or an instructional video. I don't know. Like, it was something, it was so weird. The vibe of the video is so odd because you could tell this guy is not used to like doing something on TV. But here he is doing like an instructional video for TV. It doesn't even make sense. But this is very, very, very different.
And we'll put them in a bowl and chili, mix it up, and we'll have a dip for 3 to 6 people.
That sounds like crying. I wasn't in it.
And okay, the chili things are done. You got to be careful because the chili cheese sauce is really hot, and the chili is hot also.
Just the chili is chili.
We mix them both together and
wow.
Chili. Chili cheese sauce is. You open this up and have some on a plate.
He has no concept of how to even open a paper bag. Like, he just viciously rips the entire front corner off, so now there's no way you could ever reseal that bag. He doesn't know you could just like rip it from the top and then you in. He's just like, has he never opened a bag of chips before? Like, ever? Like, what is with this guy? Has this guy ever done anything for himself? Like, it's so bizarre.
Hello, Wildcats. And there you have it. Chili, a dip that will satisfy a small group.
He's not even looking. He's not even looking at the camera. What's he looking at?
This will run you about $6, but when you figure that it will feed anywhere from 3 to 6 people, it will only cost you $1 or $2 per person. And I'm Stephen Reed, and this was Weber Cooks.
Wow. That's, like I said, all that part's fake. The only the video itself, the raw video, is just, it's very bizarre. the raw video. It's confusing because you're like, does this exist? Is it real? Is it not? Is it a prank? You get that, like someone just said in chat, you get that Tim and Eric show vibe from it, like it's staged to be weird and deadpan and weird, and I guess you laugh at it because of that, but you realize, no, it's not. Like, it's just bizarre. Like, what happened that even existed? What were the circumstances of that ever being made? I don't know. This is interesting. You probably received spam calls, so this guy's gonna glitter bomb a spam caller. See, I'm not gonna watch 20 minutes of it, but let's see.
I received a lot of spam calls that sound something like this.
This is Amazon.com. You have been charged $379.
Now, behind this harmless sounding call is a $20 billion scam industry, and today we're gonna roll over that log and see what crawls out. Because for the past 5 months, with the help of my trusty glitter bomb, which I typically just reserve for porch pirates, I've worked my way up every rung of the slimy chain of command involved in this scam. This journey is going to take us around the world and through 5 states. It involves Homeland Security, stakeouts with PIs, and of course glitter bombs, and the scammers trying to hopelessly rid themselves of sparkly evidence before getting arrested. I'm gonna show you exactly how they make so much money off these calls. So buckle up, cause it gets...
What do you think they make so much money? Because it's all, they call you like that, right? And then they tell you, you know, it's, you know, basically what it is, they're fishing for information. You're either gonna end up giving them your account information so they can log into your account and do stuff in your name, or you're gonna end up giving them payment information and you think you're paying for something you're not, but it's all a scam. It's pretty easy to understand how that happens. I'm curious, like, how does he wrangle them? Here we go. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, here we go.
Box that shoots out glitter and fart spray when you remove the lid. Now, my buddy Jim Browning has a YouTube channel where he's able to reverse the connection to the scammer's computer and then thwart them in real time as they try and scan someone else. My idea was to have a legitimate victim agree to send the money, but then we'd work with them to actually send a glitter bomb instead. So Jim checked all the scammer computers he was currently monitoring, and it just so happened a woman named Tracy was being scammed for $12,500 at that very moment.
That's
so he
a lot of
immediately
money.
tried reaching out to her and eventually got through.
Hello.
Hello, Tracy. This is Jim Browning here again. I'm calling you. Hopefully you've got my voicemail.
Here's what happened.
Now listen carefully to what Tracy's about to say here, and hold your judgment about how could anyone ever send $12,000 in the mail until I explain how the scam works in a minute. Because I hate to give these guys credit, but it's pretty clever.
They were supposed to give me a refund of $300, and when I put it in the computer, I mistyped it as $13,000. So I had to send money back to them, $12,500, and that's where I am.
Right. I'm hoping you haven't sent that money.
I have sent it.
Oh.
I hate to break this to you, but this whole thing is a scam.
What do I do now? Because
I'll tell you what to do, Tracy. You leave this to me and Jim. The first thing we did was look up the address they told her to ship the money to, and given there were 6 cameras outside, this clearly was some kind of safe house for the scammers. We then had Tracy call FedEx to cancel the package, but just in case, we hired 2 PIs to be on the scene that day to intercept it. And we knew we shouldn't do that right in front of the house because they'd probably be watching. But since we weren't sure which direction the FedEx truck would come from, we overnight shipped a package to a bunch of their neighbors that explained they were randomly selected to win one of these super cool glitter bomb t-shirts. And if you wanted to buy one of these from markrover.com to help support making more videos like this,
of course,
I'm certainly not going to stop you. This would allow us to speak to the delivery driver somewhere up the street to get the package stopped in time. And the plan worked flawlessly. Because despite Tracy's efforts to get it stopped, her package was in fact out on the truck for delivery.
Wow.
Something, yeah, that's the one. Don't deliver this one, please. Okay. This is the fraudulent one. If that one's going, that's also going to 1731? Okay.
But in a wild twist, there was a second package going to the same location addressed to the same fake name.
So it's probably another person who got scammed.
Her name was Phyllis, and we later found out her package contained even more cash than Tracy's.
Okay, so that one's going back, right? And then...
Definitely, yeah, that's done.
And FedEx was cool enough to eventually return the packages. So both Tracy and Phyllis got all their money back. And when the scammers angrily called Tracy back asking why the package didn't arrive, she explained she accidentally selected 2-day shipping instead of next day air, so they would get the package tomorrow. And that's where he switched from defense to a very light offense. And so the next day, we deliver the package in an official-looking vest.
Have a good holiday. Thank you.
And waited for the sweet retribution.
Camera and everything.
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
Oh, man. Yo, that's great.
But for the first time in 3 years of glitter bombing criminals, someone didn't immediately throw the box outside, and he just sat there with the wretched smell, leaving the box untouched. And then as we waited, wondering what his game plan was gonna be, suddenly a bunch of NYPD officers started showing up, and it didn't take them long to figure things out.
It's a glitter bomb, it has a camera built into it. There's a camera built into this.
We had a phone number on the box, and they called us up, and I explained the whole situation, and I'll just say there was some mutual admiration for each other's work.
Cameras in this thing as well? Because this is a hell of a 3D printed little thing you got here.
I mean, there might be cameras on there, officer. And as it happens, the reason a scammer would call the cops on himself is because he isn't a scammer. This is Gary, and it turns out he's a super nice guy. But Gary runs an Airbnb, and once you go in that door, there are 2 rooms upstairs that he rents out to people. So this wasn't a safe house at all. These scammers would use Airbnb to get a temporary address they would only use once. But if that's true, that meant the scammers must have been there yesterday. So Gary showed us his security footage, and we saw this woman in an orange jacket who appeared right as the PI was talking with the FedEx driver up the street. She also looks directly at the camera and then decides it's probably cold enough outside to zip her jacket all the way up. Once the FedEx truck passes and she realizes he skipped by her, she hurries over to talk to him, and when he told
Oh, man, the stream was temporarily blocked because of the... Oh, come on. Well, guys, if you're watching this on demand, all right. Yeah, if you're watching this on demand, it's not a problem. If you're watching it, I'm going to tell everyone in the chat, yeah, we got stupid content ID matched. And it's a shame because this video is good. So what happens on YouTube is when you get content ID matched during a live stream, your stream gets suspended for 3 minutes. So what I need to do is go to the next video. All right.
Thanks, Chef IQ, for sponsoring this video.
And what will happen is in 3 minutes, the stream will unfreeze, and then we'll be able to watch the next video. It's incredibly stupid that this happens, because what it is YouTube thinks, oh, you can't, like, okay, if you're watching an on-demand video, it can be content ID claims, so any ads running on the video go to the person who technically owns the copyright or trademark or whatever it is to that video, correct? It shouldn't be like that. There should definitely be revenue share. It should be investigated to see if it's fair use, but YouTube doesn't care. They just blanket content ID claim certain videos. Apparently, this guy's videos are under a partner network that they blanket claim everything. So even though I have legal right to react to that video, they don't care. They claim it anyway. On a stream, YouTube thinks, oh, there's no way to make money on a live stream like that. I can't claim your stream and have ads on it because you may not be watching that content any further. So basically, they just block your stream for 3 minutes. Yeah. So I think now I should be coming back any moment. Guys, what a shame. That video was good, right? Like, I was really enjoying that video. And now we can't watch it. We can't watch any of it. We were actually learning about the scam that basically it was an Airbnb that the scammers were using. And they didn't actually live in the house. It was just they were temporarily there just to receive packages, right? So, what a shame. Because that was a great video. And now we have absolutely no idea what happens in that story. We can't see the end of it. I hate how YouTube works like that, man. That's so dumb. So stupid. Well, I guess we'll just continue on then. This next video is another scam. I found the biggest restaurant scam on dry-aged steaks. Here we go.
On today's video, we are exploring the biggest scam in the restaurant business. And on this video, we will all learn on how this shameless practice is made. So let's begin. Everything starts off with steak.
What is a dry-aged steak? I'm not even aware what dry-aged steak is, so this will be interesting.
There are 3 beautiful prime ribeyes, 1.5 inches thick, and just exactly what you're looking for whenever you buy steaks. The first thing to do is to go ahead and get them seasoned. So for that, I kept it real simple. I got them
I
on
don't
salt,
care about
pepper,
him
freshly
cooking. I want to hear about dry-aged. Right?
Sal, chef owner of Mission Sandwich Social, located here in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I've been a professional chef now for nearly 2 decades, and during that time, unfortunately, I have witnessed a dry aged steak scam at a New York City restaurant that I worked at many years ago, where they had a dish simply called dry aged ribeye steak that was definitely not dry aged, but they got away with it because they were using a blue cheese compound butter at the very end of the cooking process. So they would take a dollop of this blue cheese infused butter, melt it down, and baste the steak with it right before it was sliced and sent out to the customer. And I gotta tell you, every night, not a single steak came back because the customer tried it and complained, I've had many dry aged steaks before and this is definitely not dry aged. No, none of them could tell. I tasted it for myself and I couldn't tell. What I believe the blue cheese does is mimic some of the most important and distinctive qualities of a good dry aged steak. And that's
I'm sorry, guys, but that looks absolutely disgusting, doesn't it? Dude, that's a moldy fucking steak. That's literally a moldy steak. It's covered in fucking mold because it's old. Like, why would you eat that? Right? That's disgusting. I'm so confused right now. I mean, again, I don't know about dry aging, but does that look appetizing to you? You know, now blue cheese has mold in it, but it's a limited amount of mold. It has a certain flavor to it people like. But would you eat rotten meat? So let's take a look. Let's see.
Funky, nutty aromatics and flavors. Night after night, these steaks were served. Night after night, not a single person complained about them. Unfortunately, I think it's probably still happening to this day.
So let's see if this scam works. The first thing I needed to do was to find a good quality blue cheese. I went with this one. It is expensive and it's known as 1924 Blue. As you can see, this thing is full of funky town. Now the process is pretty simple. I first got some room temperature butter and mixed it with 2 tablespoons of this funky cheese. Once everything was fully mixed, I threw it down on some clinch plastic, rolled it up, and once it was solidified in the refrigerator, I went ahead and sliced it. And here we have our very first trial for the scam. As you can see, this compound butter turned out perfectly. But in order to do this properly, right after cooking the steak, I'll be melting the butter down in a pot, and that's gonna allow all of the milk solids to caramelize. Doing this will enhance the flavor tremendously, and my theory is that this will make the steak taste better, especially these brown bits that has been completely infused with blue cheese. However, we still got another scam to run through. To explain to us how it works, here's my second guest, a professional chef that has been in the business forever.
My name is Chef Paul Denamiel, aka Frenchie. I am currently the owner of Le Rivage restaurant. I've been born into this business, and so I've bounced around a lot of kitchens and I've seen a lot of scams. And the one I want to bring up today is the fact that some chefs will take a lower cut of meat, they will take rendered dry aged fat and use that to paint the steak before it goes out to the customer. Definitely a no-no in my book.
Now to run this experiment, it's pretty simple. This is a rib roast that has been dry aged for 100 days. It is
dude, it's a 3-month-old steak.
full of funkiness and should give us an incredible flavor of dry-aged steaks. And the first thing to do is to trim it. Now we're going to be using 2 things out of this. A little bit of the pellicle, which is the outer skin, and also a good amount of the fat. So once I was happy with the amount I got, I went ahead and chopped everything up in small pieces, threw it in a pan, and started rending out the fat nice and slow. As the only thing left to do now is to strain it, and there we have it. 100 days dry-aged beef tallow. Will it fake as a dry-aged steak? We're about to find out real shortly. Because just like the previous one, I'm going to be adding this to the end of my steak. Now the wonderful thing about beef tallow is that
I guess here's the difference, right? So if it's truly dry-aged, then all of that flavor of the dry aging is going to be completely throughout the piece of meat. So every bite you're having, it doesn't matter if you're eating just the middle, an edge, or whatever, will all taste like dry-aged steak. If you're doing any of these scams, the blue cheese scam or this tallow scam where you're using actually dry-aged fat and you're just rubbing it on the outside, so the outer edges of the steak will taste dry-aged, but the center will taste like a regular steak, right? I mean, for me, I don't even know if I would like the funkiness of dry-aged. So, like, if you just want a good steak and the center tastes like a good steak, but then you get a little bit of different flavor around the edge, probably people wouldn't care. It would probably only be like the most upper echelon of picky gourmands that are going to go eat that steak and be like, oh, I'm eating it, and oh, the center doesn't taste dry-aged, only the edges do, therefore this must be a scam, right? Who's going to really catch on to that? So it doesn't surprise me that if that's the case, that's how they're getting away, and everyone's doing this scam, right?
Comes like butter once it cools down. Use this instead of butter and you are about to be in heaven. And it is truly shameless that restaurants use this technique to fool you. But just in case everything goes wrong, I wanted to go ahead and make an incredible side dish to go along with it. And if I ever had a restaurant, this will definitely be served. Now to make this, it might look really fancy, but trust me.
This is bone marrow. He split a bone, and it looks like he cooked the marrow in some really fancy way. So you're eating bone marrow. I've never had bone marrow. A lot of people do eat it and like it. I've never tried it, so I don't know if I would like it or not.
It is super simple to make. The first thing to do is to soak some bone marrows in water. Doing this will clean out the blood inside. Then you want to broil them until you get a nice golden brown color, just like this. Now our very next component is going to be this. I know it looks like ice cream, but trust me, it's not. The first ingredient is this, cherries. You can literally find it in any supermarket. You'll also be able to find goat cheese. Now don't ask me why, but combining these two things together is just magical. As you can see, all you gotta do is to mix them together and make a ball.
Goat cheese cherry
get any
ball.
easier than that.
What the heck?
Next up is a chimichurri to go on top of the bone marrow. This one is also super simple. Into a bowl, combine some onions, followed by parsley, garlic, red wine vinegar, chili crisp oil, season it with a good amount of salt, mix everything well, and the red chimichurri is done. Next up is some roasted potatoes. Now I laid them down on a roasting pan, added a good amount of butter, followed by some garlic, some thyme sprigs, seasoned it with salt, and a good quality olive oil.
I get it. You made a bone marrow dish. I'd like to get back to the topic, though.
But it just pairs up perfectly to go along with steaks. Talking about that, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and cook them. First, I'll be putting a nice, wonderful sear. Once that's done, I'll be cooking them in indirect heat until they reach an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. And for that, I'll be using my Chef IQ wireless thermometer.
Of course you will.
It is enough talking, and it is time to grill some beautiful steaks. So let's do it.
This music. Dang. Sizzle, baby. Now that's a sizzle. Ah! Too close.
Does that look good or what? And before we try it, I want to thank today's sponsor, Chef IQ. As you guys know, I've cooked a lot of
I don't.
You can get
type of strawberry vanilla
expensive to make. The only reason I did this, cheers everybody.
All right, here we go.
Oh, that's that good stuff.
That's what we live for over here.
That is exquisite right there.
What kind of word you use?
Exquisite.
SAT word right there.
That's not even in my vocabulary, everybody.
These steaks taste extra good. It's just a perfectly seasoned steak with a beautiful charcoal flavor on it. It's nice and beefy. It's exactly what you want from a steak. This is delicious.
Charcoal baby. Charcoal baby. That's
Yeah,
what it is. The
what about the
kiss
scam?
of the dragon,
Is he gonna
everybody.
is he gonna try the scam?
Probably control, right?
Oh, here we go.
An added flavor here that wasn't on the first one.
Is it good?
It's strange, but it might be better. I definitely think it's an improvement from the control steak. I feel like there's a little bit of a moldy, fermented taste with this. I know that doesn't sound very appetizing, but it's kind of nice on this steak.
Not gonna lie, guys.
You calling my steak moldy and you saying it's good?
I would eat this mold 10 out of 10 days.
So it's an improvement.
An improvement for sure.
If you order this steak here on a restaurant, you will be pleasant with it.
Yes.
I mean, if I knew what it was and I asked for that.
No, you don't. You will never know. All right, to cleanse your palates, we're gonna go ahead and try this side dish here, okay? So what this is, you want, why? You want to take the whole bone? Okay, that's fine. Here, you take the other bone marrow. Grab a piece of bread. Just mix everything together. Bone marrow, goat cheese, everything into the bread.
That's how
and
you're
let's
eating
give
it?
a
You're
go.
just crushing it all together into
Cheers,
one
everybody.
super thing?
That's good.
Look at his face. Why was it deformed?
A very sophisticated tasting side dish. There's a lot of depth of flavor here. You get a lot of the richness from the bone marrow. You have that beautiful bread with a nice seasoning.
So, I mean, basically, I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of things in the restaurant business that are like that scam, where they find ways to simulate flavor and they claim that they're actually giving you like a high-end product. But in reality, they're giving you a discount version of said product, and they're just charging you a ton of money for it. But you're not really getting what you paid for. And how would you know? Unless you're a connoisseur or a gourmand or someone who's like a food critic, right? Like, how would you even know the difference? So I totally can get it. Like, totally, and that's unfortunate, but I think that's human nature, sadly. Anything you can get away with, any corner you can cut, any way to get ahead, humans will do it. So I'm not shocked to hear that this is something that's going down in the restaurant business. That's a pretty good video. All right. I never heard about dry-aged steak. To me, it's the premise of the steak tastes funky and moldy because it's old is so weird. You know what I mean? Like, there's something like cheese, all right. It's kind of acceptable. I know there's things like kimchi that's fermented, but the steak, like, oh, it looks disgusting to me. Maybe maybe it's something I'm just not exposed to, and it actually is really good. I don't know, but to me, ugh. All right, guys, thanks for watching DSP versus the Internet. Sorry that I couldn't watch the glitter bomb video about the scammers. That's the way YouTube works. But I will see you all in the next part.